How can we open our heart fully to love again when we've been burned in the past, deceived, or otherwise hurt? Someone asked me to speak on this, and it's a question that I see a lot of people have. So, the first thing that I want to address here is what is this love that we're opening to fully, and what does it mean to open the heart fully? So, what we grow up learning how to do as we grow into adulthood is we learn that love is what makes us feel good in relationship with another person. Also, with animals and nature, we have different kinds of love, but specifically talking about intimate partnerships, it's this feeling like this person is so important to me because I have this amazing feeling inside me when I'm with them, when I'm walking through life together with them, when I'm caring for them and experiencing their care for me. So, what we end up experiencing is a version of outward searching that we call love, and opening the heart fully, usually in that context, means that we are becoming very attached. Uh, yes, could be some authentic vulnerability. That's part of that experience, which is a healthy self experience to have vulnerability, authentic vulnerability. But there's also a feeling of vulnerability because we're off balance and we don't know it because we're going for it. I did this for decades. I was chasing the feeling that I only felt when I was with this person, and I actually knew how to connect with divine love in myself, which is what love really is. It's connecting with that divine love energy in the center of our being. I knew how to do that, but I would kick that to the curb when I would be in a situation with a person that I had this feeling with. I would just put myself into the relationship, which really meant I would put myself out of balance to it with external searching, with seeking, with reaching for that person to hold them close to me. And that feeling of being out of balance can be mistaken for vulnerability, for opening the heart fully. It's actually attachment and being out of balance with oneself. But it's not the relationship that's the problem. The mistake actually starts before that. It starts with either doing what I did, which was kicking our spiritual heart to the curb and just, getting triggered into patterns that cause us to completely overlook our inner balance and connection with love. Or it's that we were never taught how to connect inside like that. So, what we really need to, the real problem is that we're not connecting there, and we need to. And for me, the problem was that even though I knew how to connect there, I didn't value it because I had a really deep wound when I was young. I lost my mom just before I turned 4, and love got broken when that happened. And I was looking to heal that deep energetic intimacy. You have energetic intimacy with a romantic partner, but you also have energetic intimacy with your mom when you're young. And that's what got broken for me. And I was looking to heal that in relationship. And so that's why I kicked my spiritual heart to the curb. I was like, screw this meditation stuff, screw this inner love stuff. I'm looking to reestablish that energetic envelope that I can share with another person, that energetic intimacy. And I didn't understand that the feeling of being overlooked, I kept on feeling like I was getting burned, actually. And the feeling at the end of every relationship tragedy for me was that I was feeling overlooked. Nobody really saw the real me. Uh, nobody really loved me. And I also felt like the real me was unlovable. And I hid the real me from people, and I tried to perform to make them happy. So this was all the complicated mess that I was, and I was trying to open my heart fully by giving myself into an experience of emotional attachment with another person. When I finally realized that I was the one that was hurting myself by putting myself out off balance and overlooking myself, walking out on the love affair with myself, which is we all have to have. I realized that I was making a big mistake by kicking my spiritual heart to the curb. And I felt a genuine desire, and we all have to arrive on this journey. If you're walking this journey that I'm walking and empowering people to walk along with me, we all have to get to a place where we realize that the pain that we experience in love, we are causing to ourselves by overlooking our connection or ability to connect with divine love in the center of our being. And that relationship is not the salve. It's not the place to go to experience love and to get love. Relationship is the place that we can extend the love that we feel inside ourselves and explore the miracles that divine love wants to work in our life if we just listen and honor what we hear inside. So when it comes to trust in the relationship and this question of how can I trust to open fully? First, we got to understand what opening fully really means and what we're opening to. And then the question, another question, the second question, I think, is what is worthy of trust? And this is what I ask myself. When I have felt that I've been burned and I'm afraid of taking the next step, which is in a completely different situation, what I'm really afraid of is that I won't discern correctly to protect myself. When I fix that and I feel like I understand where I went wrong in the past, where I didn't see clearly in the past, and I feel like I can trust my discernment going forward, then I feel like I can relax and show up fully in the experience that I'm feeling attracted to have now and the next day and the next day. So really, what is worthy of trust? It's not about trusting the other person, certainly not in the beginning. And it's not about trying to trust the other person. It's about, number one, trusting our own discernment. Number two, trusting our inner guidance. And these things are related. But what I mean by inner guidance is when we connect with divine love energy inside, we enter a partnership on a journey of spiritual growth. And so our experiences take on a new meaning. It's not just about getting what we want. It's not just about living a fulfilling life. It's also a lot about learning and growing. And so not every relationship is a taker-homer. Sometimes someone comes into our life to teach us a very specific lesson. And then the appropriate next movement is to part ways. And if we are super clear about what this experience is for, and we can answer that question, or we can receive the answer to that question in our moments of meditation with our inner guidance. When we understand what the relationship is for, what this moment is for, what this experience is for, we can have more trust to let it go when it's completed its purpose. So sometimes that happens. But it's when we feel this partnership with inner guidance and experience a sense of safety in that relationship with our inner guidance, that we can trust to be in these relationships, even though they may be a relationship for a season. And the reason I'm talking about a relationship for a season is because that's a relationship that comes to an end. And usually when a relationship comes to an end, that's when we feel pain that undermines our sense of trust to be able to show up in love. One of the ways that our trust is betrayed is that love ends. Well, love doesn't end. Our relationship with our inner guidance that divine love energy provides to us doesn't end. Relationships may end. Relationships may have a purpose that is just a season. So trust. The most important trust to have is the ability to trust ourselves, which is to trust our own discernment, and to trust our partnership with divine love, which is to trust our inner guidance and to feel the comfort of that connection with inner guidance. Now, moving on to the final thing, which is the person that we're with trustworthy? So here's the thing. We shouldn't just give our trust away. That doesn't mean that we should distrust people automatically either. But it really should be cash on delivery, right? And it should really be an experience of discernment every step of the way and getting to know someone every step of the way. Where we get ourselves in trouble is when we want to have a beautiful relationship and we want to have it so much that we hope that it's happening instead of actually pay attention to what's really going on. So it's the desire to see what is more than the desire to create what you want or mold this thing into what you want. It's okay to want, and it's okay to have a vision to create what you want. Absolutely. That is totally okay. But you still want to, for your own emotional safety, you want to look at the person in front of you and just get to know them and desire to see what is. Now, as we are looking to see what is with a person that we're experiencing, we're going to have blind spots, and those blind spots come from our subconscious patterns. Any subconscious pattern that you have in your personality, you're not going to be able to see in another person until you see through it for yourself and let it go, or at least start to really see through it, even if you're still in the process of letting it go. So this comes back to our learning journey. I realize that the difficult experiences that you're having with people where you got blindsided, that's showing you a spot in your subconscious that you have a blind spot, that you have some compatible pattern in your subconscious that is attracting someone who will act out a painful experience to help you experience contrast around that subconscious pattern so that you can witness it and start to heal it. So it's important to, well, I'll tell you that I got to a place of discernment from studying deeply how the mind works when aligned with divine love, as well as how the mind works when it's not aligned with divine love, and the steps by which we transition from one to the other. And this is something that I wholly want to educate people in so that they can grow in discernment and have a happy, harmonious life. So I'll just say now, if that's something you want to learn more about, you are welcome to message me to find out what are the ways that you can work with me? So that's my invitation. So discernment for me came from looking at those factors, studying those factors deeply, and then also as I applied that psychology, understanding how the mind works when connected with divine love versus when not, as I applied that to my own walk through my days, I gained more clarity. I let go of mental emotional patterns that were keeping me blind and keeping me stuck in patterns where I would get burned. Those patterns fell away from me, and I started to be able to feel energy. And being able to feel energy is the safe zone when you're talking about intimate relationship, because as I'm experiencing now with the person that I am in a relationship with, even though we have a remote relationship at this time, I can feel him energetically. I can feel our intimacy energetically. And I can feel when he goes missing from that intimacy. And then I can ask him what's going on. And then I can experience, talk about getting to know someone to see, let them cash on delivery show whether they're trustworthy or not. I get to see what his response is to my inquiry. And what I've experienced over the over 2 years that we've been getting to know each other is that he does respond to my questions, and he comes back into this place where I can feel him. He shares himself honestly. I can tell because he, first of all, he will tell me things that I don't want to hear because they're honest. That's always a good sign. And I don't get upset with him for sharing those things with me, because I want to know what is, more than I want things to be the way I think I want them to be. Okay. But more than that, that's like something you can recognize with even your heady perception. But the main thing is that he always comes back to a place of flow and connection where I can feel him energetically. That is the truth serum. If you want to know whether you can trust your partner or not, it's whether you can feel them energetically. But in order to get to a place of energetic discernment, we have to go through all those other layers that I was talking about. Cleaning up our own subconscious, which means understanding how to connect with divine love energy, understanding how the mind works when we are connected with divine love energy, as well as when we're not, and mastering our own awareness so that we can remain in this state of alignment with divine love energy, where there are no extra emotional residues because we're not having reactions to our thoughts. And as a result of having no emotional residues, our intuitive sensitivity is clear and we can feel people energetically. And what I learned, I just think this is kind of an interesting tidbit. Maybe you'll find it interesting too. What I discovered on my journey was that when I was making all my big mistakes, I was looking out to connect with somebody. But what I discovered on the other side of all this is that I actually go in to connect with somebody, because when I go deeper inside myself, that's where my energetic sensitivity is. And that's when I can feel them energetically and I can merge with them energetically. So there's a whole other depth of intimacy that opens up from going through this process of connecting with divine love and cleaning up our emotional patterns. And that is when we can deeply trust our discernment, our connection with love, and our partner. If we're finding over time that they do what they say they will do, or if they don't, that they update, that they have an explanation, that they are honest, meaning that everything adds up. And if something doesn't add up, you can ask them a question and they will give you an answer. And as you explore together, you find that things do add up and you feel that energetic intimacy. It is such the truth serum because when someone goes in their head, the energetic intimacy disappears. So if they've got a secret, if they've got, for some reason, they want to actually deceive you, which is this is where this question comes from. A lot of people have struggled with this. You're going to be able to feel it because that energetic intimacy doesn't lie, and it can't happen if someone is deceiving or holding a secret. So that is my approach to how to resolve this concern and this issue of what happens if we've been burned and we can't trust to open fully. So again, if you would like to work with me to expedite your own journey in everything that I've talked about here, then just send me a DM and say, hey, let's have a chat. I'd like to learn more about what it's like to work with you. And it's no pressure. Just we'll talk about the options and you see if one works for you. All right. Thanks. Have a great day.